The thunder is rumbling here in Massachusetts today for this episode of Notes on Nonsense. Can you hear it? It's like the gods are angry. What are we going to talk about today? So for those of you who are joining Notes on Nonsense for the first time, basically this is an episode that I put out every week talking about something that is a completely interesting brand of nonsense. This is in anticipation of my new book coming out December 17th, The Year of No Nonsense, How a Little Less Beep Can Change Your Life. So this will be a good time for me to do the listener warning since I forgot to do it at the beginning. It was all that thunder. It was distracting. Listener warning. This episode has naughty words. Maybe don't listen in front of your kids. Or do. I don't care. It's your life. It's your parenting. Whatever. So yes, my book, The Year of No Nonsense, How a Little Less Bullshit Can Change Your Life. We're going to have a lot of fun with this book, you guys. Already have several events planned coming up. The big one will be at the Brookline Booksmith. That's like a alliteration I can't quite do very well. Brookline Booksmith on December 17th at 7 p.m. That is in Boston. That will be the kick-off date for this book, and we already have a bunch of people signed up to come, and hopefully there'll be some random celebrity there too. More on that later. So let's get into this episode. Today's topic of Notes on Nonsense is hard is bullshit. So I've touched on this a little bit in prior episodes and potentially my entire life. But the idea that the words we choose are super important in our outcomes, our results, our successes, our pursuit of happiness, and more. But lately, I have found that this word, hard, is popping up a lot. We hear it in our culture. We hear it in our training plans, especially in the comments. We see it in our personal narratives. If we're writing something like that, we see it in our expression to like when we just talk to our spouse at night, such and such was so hard. So I'm here in this episode to really get to the heart of what we're trying to say and what we mean when we say something is hard. As you know, many of you know, I embarked on sort of a weird body journey. I have to mute my phone. I'm just going to do that and keep rolling. A weird like self-image, body image journey last December. And we're rolling into August. We're in August. Sorry, I thought we were still in July for a minute. We are in August. So this is coming up on a year of this pursuit of my smashing my body image issues and really trying to get a hold of my fat loss once and for all because I'm just sick of it. It has no other reason other than the fact that I'm turning 40 in November and I am sick as shit of my story. My story that, oh, look, doesn't she look great? And I wish I could be that way, but that looks like that's going to be really hard. And so that was my line of thinking last year. And the prior, 35 years, because I became aware that I was a fat kid somewhere around age 7. So I have always thought that a certain body image was out of reach, that a certain body shape was out of reach, and that I would never have certain things pertaining to my body. Wherever you fall on the body image spectrum, I want you to think about where you position yourself and like the words you say with regard to either your physical appearance or the goals you have for racing, for training, for sporting, just like kind of movement and health goals. And a lot of things I hear people say when they use the word hard, it has to do with this realm. It's very rare that I've noticed people say the word hard when it comes to their social life or even like their career. You don't really hear like, I don't know, that seems hard, because it's almost like it's a given that career will be hard. So we just don't even say it. It's like, nah, it's going to suck. So we'll just pursue that. And, that's part of life. But for some reason, when it comes to our health, wellness, fitness, sports, athletic goals, we like to say, yeah, but that's hard. And eating this is hard, and not eating bagels is hard. There's this word, and it is a poison in our progress. Because I really want to boil down what is hard. Think about it for a minute. In your life, what is truly hard? I'll tell you, motherhood is hard. That's just a fact. That is a bargain that I made that I had no idea the bargain I was making. Motherhood is hard. But what is hard? Is eating chicken and rice hard? Is eating vegetables hard? Is going to work out for 20 minutes hard? No, none of these things are actually that difficult. But I hear these things as being hard more than anything else I hear. First of all, mothers don't admit that motherhood is hard. That's like the dirty secret of motherhood. You're supposed to pretend like you got that shit together and everyone's looking and saying, oh my gosh, your children are precious and look how well behaved they are and you've got it all together too. Look at you. No, that's hard. Fighting cancer is hard. Dealing with the death of a loved one is hard. There are life things that are hard. There are life things that are not hard, and we are using them as bullshit excuses, and I don't know why. That's the thing. I think a lot of these excuses, we don't even know why we're making them. We don't even know why we are saying eating chicken and rice is hard. Why are we even saying that? I'll tell you why. Because we just don't wanna. That's what we should be saying. I just don't wanna. I can respect that, right? I think all of us can respect that to a degree. Because when it boils down to why we're not making the progress that we want to make in any area of our life, if we have deemed that too hard to pursue, then really we're just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And you know what? That's fine. You are perfectly able and do whatever the hell you want. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. This is your life. This is totally 100% your life. You have choices. I've said before, every single situation has a choice. You may have a choice between chicken shit and chicken shit, but there's still always a choice. And so if you choose, I don't wanna, that's fine. But just understand that the outcome of I don't wanna is going to lead to the outcome that you already have or worse. I have a bodybuilding coach, and she is really rough around the edges in like a way that you wouldn't necessarily want to bring her home to dinner with like your uptight parents, but you totally want to bring her home to dinner to like some really cool parents. And so I love her dearly. And one of the things she said to me that really just blew my mind about 10 weeks ago, she was like, you have goals, right? And I'm like, yeah, I got goals. This was after I had a stupid binge, right? She goes, you've got goals. Yes, I have goals. And she goes, so you're just going to give up those goals. And this is her words. You're going to fucking give up those goals for some sunflower butter. And I was like, oh, because my binge included a jar of sunflower butter. Over the course of one day, I managed to ingest like 1,200 calories and like 70 grams of fat in sunflower butter. It was delicious. I love that stuff. It's like peanut butter, but not. And so she goes, you're going to give up your goals for a jar of fucking sunflower butter. And something about that flipped a switch in me. Because I was sitting there the whole time I was eating that sunflower butter, and I was eating my food, like my chicken and rice in one meal and my vegetables and rice in another meal. And then I was just like on a binge, right? And the whole time I was eating that sunflower butter, I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. This is hard. This is hard. Here's my sunflower butter. Oh, it's delicious. But then when I was done with that, I was pissed off at myself. I was pissed off at that I didn't have, quote unquote willpower. That's another thing that's bullshit. That's another topic for another day. That I didn't have the quote unquote motivation. See episode 5 episodes ago. Motivation, also bullshit. But I was saying these things and it boiled down to the fact that I was like, this is hard. And what I meant was, I don't want to eat the fish and rice that's in the next meal. And I don't want to eat the chicken and vegetables right now. I don't want to do it. But when she said, you're going to let this stand in the way of your goals, good on you. And it was so sarcastic and so seething. And I don't talk to my athletes and my clients like that because I'm just a little bit gentler. But I'm saying this message on this podcast now because I'm not saying it to anyone directly. But if you are struggling with bullshit that is standing in the way of your goals and your dreams, I want you to break it down to the single solitary action that is causing that. I want you, when you go on a drinking bender that ruins your day, that ruins your possible sobriety, that ruins your calories, that ruins your health, your sleep, all of that. I want you to wake up the next morning and look at your swollen face in the mirror, because I have done this, and ask yourself, is it worth blowing up my goals, my sobriety, and my dreams for a fucking glass of wine? Or 5? Because that question, that statement that my coach made to me has changed everything for me. And honestly, if I have my hand like rummaging around in a bag of chips, my husband will say it in her voice, whatever. He's like, you're going to blow that for a fucking bag of chips? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. But we live in this world where we think this is all hard. Everything, every goal we want and every goal that we set is hard. And getting there is hard. And you know what? Maybe it's difficult. But I think those are two different things. It's difficult when we cause our own bullshit, when we stand in the way of our progress with dumb stuff like potato chips, sunflower butter, and booze. And because I coach women, and I know I coach them in triathlon and I coach them in lifestyle, and I hear what they're saying to me, and a lot of it, like 80% of them, are struggling and life is hard because of the choice they are making to put something in their face. And that's it. Now, there are deep-seated issues. There is trauma. There is all sorts of stuff that is causing us to do these things because it is a habit. It's a way we've dealt with things. It's a coping mechanism from our past, our childhood, our present, whatever. The behavior serves a purpose. It's serving the purpose of comforting us in a way that we have been comforted in the past, perhaps as a child, really. We're acting like children, right? Because the result of this self-soothing behavior is causing us pain. So all that to say, a lot of us are stuck. You're not stuck, see, 4 episodes ago, but we're stuck in this replay mode of going out to eat and touching the bread basket, even though we don't want the bread basket. We just don't, because we have bigger goals. We want to run faster, or we want to like lose 10 pounds, or we want to just be gluten-free, right? You know that impacts you some way, so you don't want to do it, but yet you find yourself in the bread bowl. Why? Because eating this way is hard. It's something we're saying to ourselves in our head, and I want it to stop. I want it to stop with myself. I want it to stop with my clients. I want it to stop with anyone who's listening that's struggling, because I want you to boil it down to that simple statement of the item that you are sacrificing your dreams, your hopes, your goals for. Do you want to lose 20 pounds and be in a bikini next summer? I don't care. If that's your goal, great. I don't think that's trivial at all. I want to wear bikinis. I wear them no matter what I look like now. It's just a way I am. But if that's what you want, and you're going to sacrifice that goal of yours for some peanut butter, for some Reese's Cups, for some bread at a restaurant, because you deserve it. No, you don't. You deserve your bikini body. Don't eat the bread. And this is the realization I have come to when I break it down to, okay, do I want to run faster? Do I want to wear a size 8 jeans? Do I want to just feel really good and strong and fit into an airplane seat? Do I want to do these things? Or do I want to eat the bread at Red Lobster? Oh my God, the cheese biscuits, you guys, like the struggle is real. But when you put them side by side on the scale, Red Lobster cheese biscuit on the left, hopes, dreams, goals, progress, pursuit of happiness, health on the right. I think I put the other one on the left. If not, it's back on the left. All the other things, dreams, hopes, goals on the right. They should not weigh the same. It should not even be a choice. It should not be, this is hard. This is not hard. These choices are not hard. So I want you to walk away. The challenge for you for this week's Notes on Nonsense is to reframe your thoughts about what is hard. Sure, some of you are going through some real shit. You're going through some truly difficult stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the use of the word hard to describe garbage that is not hard, but boils down to I don't wanna, because I'm either not even paying attention. A lot of this is mindless. You're either not paying attention or you haven't even thought about it. Like, why are you struggling between the bread and the body you want? It's because you haven't thought about this. You haven't put it on a scale. The bread on one side, your life goals on the other. There is no contest. You don't need willpower. You don't need motivation. Those things are not real. But your goals and your hopes and your dreams are things that can become real. And if you envision yourself as having those things and seeing them come into being, like envision yourself having what you want. The bread is like this moldy piece of bullshit on the scale. It doesn't hold a candle. So that's my challenge for you guys this week. Reframe your idea of hard. And I'll talk to you next week.